Heading on in through the gap on the newly constructed town hall. Look at that view. Isn't that lovely? And trying to land in this first person safely on the ground, right on top of the flower bed. Perfect. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Minecraft Let's Play series here in the New Heights server. Look at that behind me. You can see that mountain all the way from here. That is Lightning Thunder's mountain, which is right across the chasm of Spawn Mountain. That is incredible. I had no idea it was just that close. This place was just constructed and we are going to hit the ground running by adding so much more to this area, making it feel a lot more complete and with a lot more details and shine. Along with adding some interiors. We're going to work on the interior of that town hall behind us. It currently is just an empty shell with these mushroom stems on the walls, creating a nice rippled off-white wallpaper effect. I am such a fan of this block. We are going to fill this place with a bunch of very nice wood textures, give it a second layer, and just really make it feel nice and homely. In order to do this, we are going to need a bunch of resources. Now, if we take a look, if I remember where I put my box... Oh, goodness. There it is. This is what we're going to need to be able to fill the inside of the town hall interior. A bunch of wood, much more granite stairs, even more granite as well, some fences, the works. This will add a nice homey feel to our interior. This is the main stuff, but we might need to go get some more. Another item that'll need to help the inside feel nice and complete and cohesive are frog lights. Frog lights are special lights that frogs poop out whenever they eat a magma cube. Isn't that something? There are 3 different kinds of frog lights. They come in the 3 colors, which are yellow, purple, and green. And I feel like yellow will be such a nice warm addition to the inside of that tower, especially with all of the different kind of wood tones we're going to have on the inside. And speaking of lighting, another lighting little block that we'll need for the outside of this area are going to be sea lanterns. As you can see, I have some there. However, I'm going to need much more of those sea lanterns. I did not go out and craft those myself. Well, actually, I did technically craft those, but I did not gather the resources needed in order to be able to craft those all on my own accord. However, thanks to BlvckMvrket, the farm machine, he has set up a huge guardian farm, or at least a very efficient guardian farm that is quite impressive. He set up a lodestone compass there, and we are teleporting there right now. And let me warn you, this really tanks the FPS. It might be a little bit of a slideshow, but we're not going to be here for long, so let's see what we need. This place is quite impressive. Just a little peeky peek to the actual goings-on of the farm. It's currently running right now. Oh, look at them go. And oh, they fall in there and they die. And all of their resources go into this very extensive sorting system. This is just very impressive. This is what we're going to need. Here they are. I'm only going to take a few stacks. I'm not going to need all of this. We'll just take 4 3/4 stack for a good measure. That should be more than enough for what we need. Okay, let's get out of here before my computer explodes. Warping on out. Back to it. You know, it's times like these that I'm just so grateful that BlvckMvrket was on this server. He is an absolute beast at creating all different kinds of farms. So much of this stuff comes in handy, you really have no idea. So, I need to get frog lights. I actually don't have any frog lights or any frogs. So I need to go get some tadpoles from the swamp, the mangrove swamp, and maybe make a little frog farm. But then, try to figure out how I'm going to make a frog light farm. I think these frogs are coming to the nether with me. Let's take out our warp box, search for our mangrove swamp. There it is. And warp on in. Another warning, this is also going to be such a slideshow of low FPS. But we're not going to be there for long. Let's go. Oh, goodness. Let's see if we're actually able to move. Okay, starting signs are promising. It's actually not that bad over here. Yeah. It's pretty good. Frames are steady. Just look at how green and saturated the sparse jungle is. That's incredible. Take out our toolbox, because we need to get a bunch of buckets. I'll keep these ones on my hotbar to be able to snag up those tadpoles and take it with us. Let's go find them tadpoles. There we are, found one. Hello there, little guy. Lead me to your other frog friends, please. I've been searching for minutes for you. There it is, another one. Okay, we got this. Follow me, little guy. Yep, come on. Come on now. You're coming. Oh, there he goes. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, here's another frog. Come here. Come here, please. Waddle, waddle, waddle. Ooh, here they come. I'm the master of the frogs. Making your way. Alrighty, boink, boink. Time to make some tadpoles. Or frog spawn. Oh, goodness. I forgot about the frog spawn step. I'm gonna have to wait a little while for this, aren't I? Here's another frog. Little frog. Hello, come with me, please. Take me to your other frog brethren, please. Slowly but surely. Oh, there's a frog. They're coming. Can I mate you too? Mate you. And mate you. Please. No. They're here. They're here. Tadpoles. Oh yes, achievement unlocked. Time for tadpole. You know, I will have to say... Oh! I'll have to say this later. Let me catch all of these guys. That was just in time. Come here. Come here. There we are. You know, what I was going to say was waiting in the middle of this mangrove swamp in the dead of night while it's raining and it's dark everywhere. It puts you in a little vulnerable position. It's a little scary, not gonna lie. Okay, so I feel like we got everything that we need here. There is one guy left, but I don't have another bucket out, and I'm not going to get a bunch of stuff out to make another bucket. So this person will naturally grow up in the swamp. This tadpole, excuse me. They're so cute. Oh, don't go there. You're gonna die. Go back. Taking out the lodestone compass, warping back home. Flying on through the world, discovering new chunks to locate one specific spot. The spot I am looking for is an intersection between 3 different kinds of biomes: temperate, cold, and warm. This will help us get all 3 different kinds of frogs that we need. I found this specific spot by looking on this special program called ChunkBase, which gives a surveillance of the seeds layout and their different biomes. Now, some people think that this is cheating, and if you think it's cheating, then you don't have to use it, and that's okay. However, I've been playing Minecraft for a really, really long time, and I want to be able to work on projects without that being difficult, and so tools like this are very, very helpful for long-term play. And I'm not using it to get myself a bunch of diamonds or go to every single location. I'm using it to just be able to make some farms so I can increase the fun and the gameplay. So let me take a look at where actually I'm looking on this map. I'm going this way. Okay, the original spot that I had gone to is incorrect, which is so very strange. I had no idea why or how it would be incorrect. But then I figured it out. So somehow, the original seed for this world had been lost. Oh, goodness. This world was generated with its own special seed. However, when I migrated it from the realm into a server, for whatever reason, that world was imported and merged with a different seed. So only what I had been loaded came into this new world, and everything outside of that is an entirely separate seed, which is the strangest thing ever. So now I had to re-input different seed and go to those coordinates. And it's even further than what I had initially envisioned. This is the spot that I'll need, this little heart-looking shape made out of the scaffolding, which this was not intentional, this just happened. It's just so funny how it turns out. Is the intersection between 3 different kinds of biomes: cold, temperate, and warm. This will be the snowy slopes, this is the plain/grove biome, and this is the savanna plateau. This is all that we need to be able to get all different kinds of frogs, the 3 different kinds to be exact, and that will also allow us to get all 3 kinds of the frog lights. The next thing to do is just to set up the farm itself. But before that happens, in case I die, or when I leave the area, I want to be able to find this place in the future. So we're going to craft up our lodestone with our chiseled stone bricks and the netherite ingot. Gonna set that down. We'll do that right here and just get our compass out. Right click that, boom, we have our lodestone compass. The little farm platform is done. I have it divided into these 3 sections. This one, I believe, is the warm one over the savanna plateau. I have these double door systems for when the frogs are in here so that they don't escape. Be able to close both of them like a little airlock. And it is open at the top, however, I don't believe that they can jump out. If they can, I try to give this little overhang so that their pathfinding or trajectory is kind of blocked, but they can still have some fresh air up and to the sides. Here is another chamber here. This one is the temperate one, I believe. No, this one's a cold one. Yeah, that one's a cold one. And then this one is the temperate one. And we have doors to every section. These 2 have a bunch of torches on the inside since it snows and I don't want this water freezing over and over. But now we can include the lodestone compass. Took it down there, gonna have to re-tether so that it warps you directly to this spot instead of the previous spot that it was at. We have it right here, and now we can add all of the tadpoles. So let's get all of these buckets of tadpole into my inventory and get these going. You know, I should have counted these while they were inside of the shulker box. That would have been smart, but let's count them now. Let's see, that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I could do 5 in each. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Look at these little guys. Gonna grow up to be big and strong frogs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Fantastic. Okay, made a slight error here in the planning. Oop, let me close these doors so these guys don't get out. These are both cold biomes. I didn't realize that groves are cold biomes. I was misreading the charts. Of course, there are some overlap. As you can see, the temperate guys are in here. But in order to remedy this, I have created another little holding cell for them. Not holding cell, spawning area. This is right over a meadow biome. And so this is where the temperate guys are going to go. The little reddish orangey guys are going to go. So now I need to breed them up, transfer them over, and then we'll be able to have all different kinds of frogs in ready abundance. The tadpoles are in, and they are growing up fast. Now I got an abundance of these temperate frogs, which means an abundance of the yellow frog lights. Now let's get some work done, shall we? Now we are back at the town hall with all the materials that we have needed, except the frog lights that will be coming a little bit later on. So now that we have everything, enough dilly-dallying, enough waiting, let's start another building time-lapse to get this interior all squared away. And with that time lapse over, the interior is done and it is here. Let's turn around and take a look. This is what the entrance looks like with the beam right through, but now it's coming up from the floor. I actually have to put a little piece of glass there, but I'll do that later on. This is leading up to the second floor, And as we take a look on either side here, it opens up to the room itself. With everything being inside of here, it draws your eyes upward and through the length of this place, especially with these lines leading you down. As you saw in the time lapse, I placed all of these wood types here, stripped them away to show the difference in color, and I really like it. It's a nice warm wood tone that complements the space, and I have a lot of these warm tones from the jungle wood here and there to really accent and complement those same warm tones in the granite itself. It's going to be the same on the either side, and if we go on up the middle steps here, we're greeted with this nice, lovely center lamp, which is not too dissimilar from the rest of them. Of course, with a little bit more intricate stonework there at the top, since this is 3 wide. Coming up and looking around, we see the exit going down the staircase. It is flanked by these guardrails and these fun little hedges in the corners, along with the pots and the candles. I really like these little subtle details. I want to fill this space with a lot more decorations and a lot more little plants, just to really make it come to life and feel lived in. Up here, it's a much lighter feeling, since we're closer to the ceiling, closer to the sky. I wanted it to feel a little bit more open and airy, which I feel like this does. And I feel like I accomplished that with these right here. These are beehives, a bunch of beehives. I really enjoy the texture. I really like this. Also, it is a directional wood plank texture. Unlike regular wood planks, this would be the texture if I were to put wood in here. It'd be going along this way. But I wanted them to go along the lengthwise. And it's a very unique color as well. It's kind of like oak, but it's less busy than oak. More refined and polished. I use this same planks inside of the tower on the librarian level. So nice, fun little touch, little detail. Up here, you can get a better view of the ceiling and these little light fixtures. These are the sea lanterns. I will be replacing these sea lanterns once I get all of the different frog lights that I need. Specifically for these will be replaced by the yellow frog lights. And I feel like the yellow ones will complement the color of the space much better. Whereas these blue ones here, they kind of stand out. It's a little conflicting, contrasting, I'd say. But I tell you, with this place interior done, it feels so much more complete, much more homey, and much closer to the finished product. And of course, later on when we fill this building, it will have information about this world and the respective lodestone compasses to teleport to different areas all around the map, little display stands, maybe even some trophies upstairs. However, all of that is not going to be in this episode. It is soon to come. Now it is time to focus on the outside, the central square, the hub of the mega base. I'm going to be adding a lot more things to it just to really fill the space, make it feel much more complete and usable. I think it's time for another building time lapse. Let's go. the additional roads are done. As I take a little look around, you can see all of it there, extending off in different directions. And later in the future, I will continue to extend the roads once I have a building plan up and running. And as you can tell from the time lapse of me putting a path down, tearing it out, putting it down, tearing it out, building circles in Minecraft in the square placing game is hard. I had such difficulty. I did have a few reference designs that I had, but I would just misalign it by a singular block or by a few blocks, so I had to tear it out, start over a few times, but I finally got those tracks down, as you can see, and I am quite happy with it. And the final step for this episode is for it to rain right at the time that I wanted to do recording. It is noon, the sun is up in the sky, and it just disappeared right as I started recording. That's fantastic. But we're not going to let it rain on our parade. We're going to jump right into the next and the last building time-lapse of this episode, where we're going to put a few little vertical monuments to really fill the space, along with some really cool custom trees. Let's hit the final time-lapse. Strolling in to the plaza from the time lapse, and oh my goodness, I have to tell you, it feels so much more complete and lived in and lively. I love the details I was able to come up with, and I really like how it turned out inside here. It really fills the space vertically, which is awesome. Let's take a little closer look at everything. We have these light poles here, along with these benches as well. I am a big fan of the dark prismarine, and I'm always looking for an excuse to build with it. And this is my first time at trying out some custom trees. We have this tree here that is built with the acacia leaves here, which gives it a very specific, distinct kind of green that you don't really see that often. And I put these little hedges here. These have the regular oak leaves. I had to fill in these little crossing spaces. Of course, that one over there isn't filled in just yet. I am still coming up with ideas. I might actually even put a cherry blossom tree from the new 1.20 update, which is just around the corner. And a custom spruce tree, which I am a big fan of. I tried to give it a little bit of tilt and a little bit of character to make it feel nice and natural. Of course, this one does have the little hedges as well. These are actually birch leaves. I feel like it is a good complement to the spruce leaves as well in terms of texture and color. But I am just a fan of how this all turned out. Also, another little thing I forgot to mention, but you most definitely did notice, are these little planters that are completely full with the different kinds of coral blocks. Coral plants? What are these called? Corals. Just different types of corals here. I tried to incorporate many different kinds of colors, going in little strips, and I really enjoy them. They're one of the few full plant life blocks or foliage types in Minecraft that are completely colorful. I wish there were more different types of flowers like this, but using coral on top of the waterlogged slab is a great trick that I learned from good times with Scar that I'm so excited to implement here. I've waited for it to be nighttime to see exactly what it looks like in the night, and I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of all of these lighting solutions. I try to make them as hidden as possible or really showcase them, like these decorated lamps here. But in a few places where I don't have any torches, because I just want torches to not be the focal point and not really be noticeable, like you can notice them out there, but not in here. I tried to hide the lighting solutions by adding some glow lichen. These are very similar in color to the surrounding stone, so they don't really pop out that much, and they just contribute a very small, subtle amount of light. I have some decorated inside the tree there, you can't really even notice that, and inside of that tree. Otherwise, it'll just be way too dark. But one final thing that I want to add to really give this place a little bit more light without having to dart around a bunch of light is use these lava buckets. And a fun little trick that I just learned when creating this place is, if you can't tell, these guys are cauldrons. And let me kill this guy because I don't want any mishaps happening here. As you can tell, I really need to light this place up because they are spawning. But if we right-click this with the bucket of lava, boom, there is more light. And looking at it, you can't even tell, unless you're being told, that the light is coming from the bottom. This really helps make it look like these street lamps are illuminating much more things, are much more brighter than the rest of the inner lamps. Look at that. That really adds so much more. So I'm just going to add all of these lava buckets to the surrounding cauldrons to really brighten this place up in the nighttime and make everything look so much more intentional. Last bucket going in now, and boom! Look at that! What a lovely view in the nighttime. Of course, I'm still going to have to figure out some solutions, because if I open up my special F3 menu, I'm so sorry, it is so much all at once. But we can see that there are some areas that are still block light 0. Right over here, 0. If it's a full block and it's at 0, that means in the nighttime, in the dark, mobs, hostile mobs, will spawn. So I have some glow lichen on me. I think I'm just going to put one right here and really brighten this place up. Of course, there's 0 over here, but that is on a half slab, so they won't spawn. So a little bit more lighting solutions. Let me get that out of my face. But, of course, down the line, there are going to be much more buildings, and I want to put more street lamps, either of this kind or a different kind, around the side. Another way that I hid some lighting features is I put them like this, some sea lanterns with some glass. That really brightens the area up. Also, it's acting kind of like a spotlight. I have one over there and the base of that planter, but I decided to incorporate that here as well. I took out the torches there, and I put some recessed lighting. Man, this place is dangerous. Gonna have to do a lot more lighting solutions. But if we make our way on up here, I added some of the recessed lighting here with the black stained glass, and I feel like that works very well over on this side to complement the black stained glass there. I haven't done it all the way around the building just yet, but it is soon to come. But that is all the time that I have left for this episode. I want to thank you so much for joining me here. It has really been a blast making this episode. I have made so many time lapses in this episode. I don't know if I'm going to continue the amount of time lapses that I made, but nonetheless, it has been a challenge. It has been fun. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Goodbye! About the server,